Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today we're doing something a little different. We're looking at watercolor. I want to get a little bit more into watercolor and I've been following a few YouTube channels. I got really inspired by them. One is called the Winsor&Newton Paper Co. Yeah, and then there are a couple of others. But what I thought was I've bought all of these colors in watercolor and somewhere to put them in. So I thought we would do this together and I would show you how I do it, how I group them, how I organize them. And I did get inspiration for this palette from the Winsor&Newton Paper Co. And also there's some colors recommended by Jenna Rainey, I believe, who has another YouTube channel for this. So let's get started. What you see, what I've tried to do is I have a color wheel here, and this color wheel I saw Emily Olsen art. She had some tips on how to create one, so I made this myself based on a tutorial from her with different colors. Where you started with the yellows and the reds and the blues, and then yeah, I mixed everything, and then I thought to use the color palette to sort of plot all these colors and then to put them in here one by one to squeeze some paint based on where they sit on the color wheel to sort of add some order to it. I have a couple of brands also at the recommendations of Emily Olsen, Jenna Rainey, and the Winsor&Newton Paper Co. Most notable are Winsor&Newton Professional, Winsor&Newton Cotman, which is their student grade. There's just one from Holbein. It's a Japanese brand. I've got three from Daniel Smith, also artist grade, and this is an American brand. And I've got some VanGogh, which is the student grade from Talents Watercolors. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, indeed. All really nice. And the Winsor&Newton Paper Co., her name is Harriet. So Harriet recommended that if you were to invest somewhere, it should be in the quality of the watercolor. So it's better to have smaller ones, but of better quality than the other way around. So that's why I tried to go for nicer ones as much as possible. I mean, these are all super, super nice. And yeah, I'm curious what will come out of them. I have to say I also got inspiration on how to actually place all of these colors on the color wheel from the 120 set of Faber-Castell Polychromos. Let me just show you. Because the color wheel itself wasn't enough. So I had to look this one up. And if you have the set, you know what I'm talking about. It looks like this. So they come already in a specific order. So I just looked at the names of the pencils and the colors in the order they were in, and this really helped me. Because for example, this one was here on the color wheel, it's this one. But then where to put all the others? Left or right of it? So that's how I sort of made my decision based on the Faber-Castell pencils. All right, so this is it pretty much. This is greens, blues, purples, pinks, reds, oranges, and yellows. And what you see here on the side, I've got the neutrals. So black, a gray, graphite, and yeah, an ivory sort of, it's called titanium buff. And here, I got the things that didn't really fit here, and it's more of the brown tones. So yellow ochre, raw sienna, gold brown, Indian red deep, burnt sienna, burnt umber, and dark brown. So the browns I'll put somewhere separately. So now the plan is to squeeze a little bit of every color in this pan. Okay, so here we are. The plan is, I've got sort of two of these pans. By the way, this is ceramics, which is recommended for watercolor. So I've split the colors into sort of two sections. So this one I plan to fill with yellow, orange, the pinks, reds, and the purples, and also all the brown colors that I showed before. So I'm gonna start with the yellows. This one first, cadmium-free lemon, which is the primary color, cool yellow. So I'm squeezing it in here. Then I'm putting the cap back on and moving on to the next one. Then we've got cadmium-free yellow, and this is a warm yellow, which goes in here. It's so nice to push the color. Okay, and then put the cap back on. Next up, we've got yellow titanate. Is that how you say it? Titanate? Titanate? I guess so. Ooh, this one's more difficult to unscrew. Ah, got it. Okay, let's see what comes out. Here we go. Squeezing it. Oh, that's a lot. Then going back in. Whoop. This one's a little bit harder. Oh, it's dried up. That's what makes it more difficult. I've had these colors for a while, some of them, huh? Some are new and some are old. This is one of the older ones that I've used before. Whoop. Okay, this is a tricky one. Got it, here it is. Finally got it. Okay, that was yellow titanate. I won't forget you anytime soon. Okay, next up we're moving to oranges. This is cadmium-free orange, and it's supposed to be a very strong orange color. This one's new, so I'm curious what comes out. It takes a bit of squeezing. Put some in there. Lovely. And then this one could just go back in. That would be wonderful. Yes. We put them back, because then I'm going to need to write down all the names. Okay, and next up we've got transparent orange. I also have this for a while. Bit difficult to unscrew, but we're getting there. Look at this. Look at this. There's more red than orange, and it's beautiful. Beautiful. So I can screw the cap back on. Keep it fresh. Here we go. And it's back, and I've already started getting my hands dirty. Great. Okay, so that was transparent orange. Then we're going to a new one, Scarlet Lake. Let's see what comes out. Just squish it in here. Oh, it comes out beautifully. Oh, it's really beautiful. Take a look at this Scarlet Lake. Okay, next up, we're moving into the reds. And the first red we're looking at is cadmium-free red deep. Also a new one, so not a problem to unscrew. Okie-doke. This one sits more, it's thicker basically. Do you see the consistency? The difference? Okay, so that was cadmium-free red and deep. Winsor red. And Winsor red is the warm red primary color. If you just want the primaries, this is the warm red primary color. Let me squeeze some of it and look how beautiful it is. Have a look. Okay, put the rest back. And then we go to the primary cool red, which is alizarin crimson. Let's see what comes out. Also lovely, thicker consistency. Closing it. Oh, this one's also giving me some trouble. Yes, got it. Okay, alizarin crimson. Then we've got permanent rose. We're moving into the pinks. This one's Cotman. So a bit lower quality, but also you get more of it. It's a bigger tube, 8 milliliters compared to 5 for the other one. Just keeping it clean as much as possible. Putting the cap back on. Then we've got Opera Rose. Also a new color for me. So let's give it a try. Ooh, beautiful. Look at that pink. Screams Barbie. Okay. This one went quite smoothly to close. And then we're moving into lavender. So here's lavender. This is the only Holbein I have. Let's see what comes out. Oh, beautiful. Okay, now we stop. Put the cap back on. This one was easy to put the cap back on. And then Daniel Smith Imperial Purple. This is a serious purple right here. Let's squeeze a little bit. Look at that. Wonderful. The rest goes back in. Okay, then we've got Moon Glow, also Daniel Smith, which is very, very dark. So you can use this for shadows, for accents. You know, that was Moon Glow. Putting the cap back on. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna fill the rest of this pan with the browns. So let's start with the darkest one from here. This is a dark brown, also hard to open, but of course not impossible. Here we go. Ooh. I'm gonna put a lot of that dark brown here. See, it's quite thick in terms of consistency. Yeah, that was dark brown. Then we move to burnt umber. This one's from VanGogh. You see, VanGogh is very generous with its sizes. This is 10 milliliters. So So here we go. Oh. Getting some of that burnt umber in there. Then closing it. Burnt sienna is next. Squeezing it, this one goes easily. There's burnt sienna. Next we have Indian red deep. The smaller the tube, the more difficult it is to open it. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Indian red deep. How do you look like? Like this. It's pretty brown. Okay, let's close it. Next. Gold brown. Things are getting lighter. So we're going here. That was it. Then we have raw sienna. This one's new. Oh, ready to pop. Here's the raw sienna. Yellow ochre is the last one. And we're now done with all of them. That was the first part. Next up, we'll deal with the blues and greens. Okay, so now what we want to be able to do is basically match the color in here with a name. So for that, I've sort of created my little own swatch chart. I took a piece of watercolor paper. This is cotton, and drew a little circle like this, and then next to each one I wrote the name, like cadmium-free lemon, and the brand. So this is Winsor&Newton Professional, I have Daniel Smith, I've got some Cotman and some VanGogh. So this way I can look at this and I can look at this and I know what color is where, but also the name of it and what brand it comes from. So what I'm gonna do now is pick up a brush. I've got this one, a number 4 from Raphael. I've got a little glass of water here. I'll do that. And let's wet the brush a little bit. Maybe I put a water here instead. Yeah, and then I just dip into each color. So let's start with the cadmium-free lemon. Look at this beautiful color. Like this. Can let it dry. Okay. Then we go to cadmium-free yellow. Look at that rich tone. of the yellow. It's beautiful. This looks like the sun, doesn't it? Can make some beautiful petals with this, I think. Okay, so there's our cadmium-free yellow. And then yellow titanate. So let's get some from here. So it's already drying quite a bit, so need to wake it up. Okay, yellow titanate. Looks like this. Next up, we're going to orange, cadmium-free orange. Oh, I'm really curious how this color will look like. It's all blob, it's already hardening. Come on now. Let's see, do I have enough? I do. It's beautiful orange. Here we go. Then we move on up to transparent orange. Doesn't look like orange at all, does it? It's pretty much a red. Oh, look at that. It's a beautiful, vibrant color on paper. Beautiful. Thinking of roses or red tulips when I look at this. Beautiful color. Let's go to Scarlet Lake. Hello there. What you got? Ooh, I took quite a bit. Don't think I need that much. Scarlet Lake in all its glory. I think this is also color pencil color. Looks so familiar. I think from Faber-Castell. Okay, so that's our Scarlet Lake. Look at this water. It's very colorful now. Don't know if you can see. Okay, cadmium-free deep red is next. This one's a thicker consistency. Here we go. Yeah, that red is quite deep actually. Just checking that my mic is still working. I've run out of battery once. I kept talking and I only realized it at the end. That was not a happy moment. I don't want to repeat that. Okay, so cadmium-free red deep. Then Winsor red. Winsor red. Wow, that's beautiful. I keep saying that. I'm gonna say it very often, apparently. Winsor red is a beaut. Very vibrant. Then alizarin crimson is up next, right here. Let's see what you got. Oh, this looks like wine. It's beautiful, deep, rich color. Pigments is great. Okay, permanent rose. We're moving into roses. Let's try to push this in there a little bit. Great, like that. And there's rosy color. Oh, there's quite a bit of water on this one. Yep. Here it is, permanent rose. And then opera rose. I think I need a bit more. Oh, look at that. Very neon pink almost. Yep, letting that soak in. And now we're switching gears completely, going to lavender. Curious how this whole vine color is. Oh, lovely. Guess you can paint lavender with the color lavender. Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful and rich as well. Okay, here we go. Imperial Purple is next. This one's gonna be pretty strong. Let's try to tame that peak a little bit. See what comes out. Imperial Purple. Yeah, it's very distinguished. It looks very distinguished. It's a rich, very rich color as well. All right. And then Moon Glow. I expect this one to be very dark. This one's recommended by Harriet de Winton from the Winton Paper Co. She uses it just a little to give dark touches to her floral paintings, and oh, she makes them look so beautiful that I thought, I'm no Harriet, but I better buy that color. Maybe I can try to get close. Look at that. Okay, that's Moon Glow. And then we're gonna look at the browns. In just a sec, I'm gonna change this water first because it's getting a little bit muddy. So I'll see you in a second. We're back with some fresh water. Now we're gonna continue painting, well, swatching the browns. I'm gonna start with the gold brown here at the top. Let's take a little bit, fill it in. It's beautiful. Has a lot of yellow in it, I feel. So it's on the lighter side of browns. Okay. Let me take a little bit more. Try to do it justice. Put more pigment in there. Just like that. Okay, great. And next, we're going to raw sienna. Let's give this one a little whirl. Picked up quite a bit of pigment there. And there's a raw sienna. So, and then we're going to yellow ochre. Right here. We try to push that a little bit in. There's no more peak, just like that. There's no peak, but there's plenty of pigment. Now let's put it on the paper now. Interesting. Well, it looks a bit like the raw sienna. Maybe, yeah, it's a little bit lighter than raw sienna. And if you compare it to this, well, this is dry now. This is not, obviously. But I feel like it's pretty similar. What do you think? I'm curious how it will look like when it dries. But I feel like yellow ochre might look very much like yellow titanite. Let's give it out. Clean. And now we're going to Indian red deep. Now, this looks like a total brown here, doesn't it? So I'm curious what will come out when we put some color on paper. So for that, oh yeah. Oh, there's very deep red in there. Yes, it is red, indeed. Indian red and deep, there you go. Beautiful. Next, we're moving to burnt sienna. Let's see what the difference is between these two. There we go. Here's burnt sienna from VanGogh. Yeah, beautiful, rich color as well. Okay, that was it. It's a little bit browner than the Indian red deep, I think, if you compare the two. Next, let's try some burnt umber, which we have here on the side. Yeah, looks brown. And last but not least, dark brown. And after we're done with all of this, we're gonna move to swatching the blues, the greens, and the neutrals. But yes, this definitely looks like a dark brown, has a lot of coverage, it's quite opaque. So there you have it. First part done. See you in the second half. So it is now one day later, and we're gonna continue with the second palette, and it's this one right here. We're gonna fill in the rest of the colors. So this is what we've done so far, but I realized actually that in order for the colors to fit here, this has 14 separate little circles where you can put paint. I need to still use 2 or 3 of this. So for that reason, we're gonna finish with this one first. And I'm first gonna add sap green right here. I'm gonna put it next to the browns. And after that, I'm also gonna include Prussian blue, which I had first put with the blues, because yes, it is a blue of course, but it's quite a dark one. And I'm gonna put it here next to Moon Glow, because if you look at it, it's sort of a, yeah, it makes sense that it sits next to Imperial Purple and Moon Glow. It's also a dark color which you use for background or to add contrast. So they're gonna sit next to each other. So let's just do this one first. We're gonna do Prussian blue with, it's from Cotman. And we're gonna put it here. Let's squeeze it. Okay, so squeeze that quite a bit. And the rest goes in. So that was Cotman. And then we're gonna have VanGogh olive green going right here. Let me keep it. Let's try to open this. Yep. Managed. Be generous with the serving. Here we go. And then close it. Make it as tight as possible. And then we're also gonna fill in these 4 with the neutrals. So we start with ivory black. And we're gonna start from the bottom. Squeezing the black. Here we go, that's a nice amount. Then after that we've got Payne's Gray from Cotman. Which goes right next to it. After Payne's Gray comes Graphite. This is quite sparkly actually on paper. It's really nice accent color. We'll squeeze you in right here. Metallic, it's the only metallic one I have. And then Titanium Buff, which is sort of a off-white Maybe looks a little bit like ivory. And it doesn't want to open. Of course it doesn't. Let me keep trying. Got it. Yes. Titanium buff coming right in. Then we close it. Okay, so that's what we have. Let me put this here so you can see what we're doing. And now I'm gonna finish up with adding the colors here. So first, let's start with this one. This is our Prussian blue. Close to moon glow, isn't it? Though you can clearly see the deeper shade of blue in there. So here we go. Clean up. Let me also write Prussian blue. From Cotman. And then this is gonna be olive green, VanGogh. Let me do that one next. This beautiful green. Let me take a bit more. Absolutely wonderful. All right. And then we go in with titanium buff. Graphite. Look at the sparkle on this one. Don't know if you can see. Oh, it's wonderful. Okay, 2 more to go. Next one is Payne's Gray. Yeah, this one's Payne's Gray. And last but not least, the honor goes to Ivory Black. Here we go. And with this, we've got a full, nice palette. The next stage is to fill the second palette up with the blue colors, the blue and greens that we have remaining. So we're gonna start from this side with the blues and then move over to the greens. Starting with Cobalt Blue from Winsor&Newton Professional. And going right here. Oh, nice rich blue we've got there. All right, closing it back up. Then we have cobalt blue. That was cobalt blue deep. This is cobalt blue. Squeezing it here. Nope. Need to help it a little bit. Here we go. Then we've got French ultramarine. That's the primary warm blue. And we'll get to Winsor blue, which is the primary cold blue. So squeezing this one in here as well. We've got a lot of blues, as you'll see. Here we go. Then we've got Phthalo blue from VanGogh. So another brand. This comes out nicely. Here we go. Yeah, look a bit alike, don't they? Okay. And then we've got Phthalo Sapphire. This one from Winsor&Newton. Squeeze it in here. Okay, a few bubbles are coming out from that one as well. Moving on to Cerulean Blue from VanGogh. Oh, look at this, so pretty. Here we go. How was it? Closing it, and then we move on to Winsor blue. That's the other primary blue I mentioned. This is the cold one. Let's squeeze it in here. Wonderful. Then we're moving on to turquoise from Cotman. It's very dark. That was Cotman, and then cobalt turquoise from Winsor&Newton Professional. It's a bit thicker, this one. And there we go. Now we're moving into the greens. We've got cobalt green deep. Right there. And then we've got Hooker's Green Light from Cotman. Going up here. Followed by a very popular one, sap green. This one's from VanGogh. And sap green is used a lot for leaves. At least that's what I see Harriet from the Winton Paper Co. use in almost all of her videos, truly. So this one's a beloved one, I think. Also a little bit harder to open. Okay, so finally managed to get the green open. It just wouldn't open, this sap green. Let's see what's coming out of it. Lovely. Lovely color. And now let's try to close it back up. Hopefully it won't give us any trouble. We clean it up a little bit. And there we go. Now we have two more. Next one is green gold. Also highly used in botanical painting. This one's from Daniel Smith. So let's push. Here we go. That's what came out. Let's try to close it. And the last one we'll be using today is Der Wert. From Winsor&Newton. Also a bit trickier to open, but here it goes. Here it goes, here it goes. Okay, that was that. Closing it back up. And these are our colors. Next up, you know it, I'm going to create a swatch chart like this. I'm gonna write the names and then we can pop in those colors. So in order to do that, I'm gonna move this a little bit to the side. And then we're gonna come in right here and we're gonna take them one by one. Starting with this one. Look at that beautiful red tone. Beautiful. Let's clean it up. I can hold this to this side so my hand is not in front of the camera. So that was Cobalt Blue Deep. And next up we get Cobalt Blue, lighter, and after that we have French Ultramarine here. These are all beautiful rich tones of blue. I love it. Okay, let's see, what do we have next? Phthalo Blue is up next, right here. And let's clean the brush. Move on to Phthalo Sapphire, the bubbly one. Let me burst some bubbles here. And we picked up some sapphire. That's it. These are all very close to each other, aren't they? Especially these two. Then we have Cerulean Blue. This light blue here. Picked up a little bit. Of the Cerulean Blue. Beautiful. Looks like the sky. Then we're going to Winsor Blue, which is the primary color. The cold blue is the Winsor Blue. Here it is. Okay. And then we'll look, we'll go to turquoise. Yeah, This is turquoise. It doesn't look like it, does it? Well, to my eyes at least. I'm not an expert, don't get me wrong. But here it is. That turquoise. And then we've got cobalt turquoise, which is much more light, much more bright. I try to make this into more of a circle if I can. Maybe I should have used more water for sure. Rookie mistake, but here we are. Okay, that should do it. So that was cobalt turquoise, followed by cobalt green deep. We're moving into the greens. Here it is. Cobalt green deep. Lovely, absolutely lovely. There's nice variety here. Okay, next up we're going to Hooker's green light. It's called Hooker's green light. Here we go. Yeah, it's much easier when there's a bit of water on the brush. And then to the infamous sap green that wouldn't come out of its tube. Just want to stay there. Oh, I got you out. Let's see how you look like. Here it is. It's a beautiful rich tone. Absolutely wonderful. I can see why a lot of people use it for leaves. And then we've got two more. Nee, Eva. Stop. Wacht. The last one is, well, not the last one, but the second to last is this green gold from Daniel Smith. Here's how it looks like. Lovely. And the last one is called Ter Vert. Let's use some. Pop it here. Oh, wow, lovely. Absolutely lovely. Here we go. That was it. I'll just jot down the names on these ones and I'll come back with the final part of this video where we look at all of them together. So see you in a second. Okay, so these are all the colors that we've sort of put together on the palette. I also have them on a swatch chart. So this one corresponds to all of these. And then this one corresponds to all of these. Handy on just one piece of paper. I've organized them as much as possible based on the color wheel. So I also have this handy just to see what goes with what and which one is the cool yellow and which one is the warm red, etc. I've got the names here. So this is sort of my equipment now for getting started with watercolor painting. I look forward to taking you along on this journey, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.